Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm delighted to introduce you to this presentation for the Masters in Bioprocess Engineering, which is accredited by DCU and delivered by the School of Biotechnology. We also deliver that in conjunction with the School of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences at Trinity College Dublin, and also the National Institute for Bioprocess Research and Training, which is also based in Dublin. This MSc was created to respond to the needs of Ireland's thriving biopharmaceutical industry, and it's designed to give graduates the advanced knowledge, practical expertise, and professional awareness required to succeed in a sector that's really central to the Irish economy, and it continues to grow rapidly worldwide. My name is David Collins, and I'm the Programme Chair for the MSc in Bioprocess Engineering here at DCU. The purpose of this presentation really is to give you a clear overview of bioprocess engineering as a field and to explain what the MSc in Bioprocess Engineering at DCU involves. But also, I want to highlight the current biopharmaceutical industry landscape, particularly here in Ireland and also worldwide. So hopefully by the end of this presentation, you should have a good sense of what bioprocess engineering broadly covers, who the program is designed for, and what taking this program entails, and also the career opportunities it can open up both nationally and internationally. I'll also give you some information on the entry requirements for the course and how you can apply. So what is bioprocess engineering? Well, bioprocess engineering is a discipline that combines biology, chemistry, and engineering to develop processes that use living cells or their components to produce valuable products. At its heart, it's about taking what happens in the lab on a very small scale, for example, in a petri dish or in a flask, and scaling it up so that safe, effective medicines can be produced reliably for millions of patients. It's the science of engineering, it's the science and engineering, rather, behind how we take living systems, such as mammalian cells or microbial cultures, and use them to produce medicines like proteins, antibodies, and advanced therapies. This is a very broad topic, obviously, and it covers everything from cell culture and bioreactor design through to purification and downstream processing, and all the way to regulatory compliance and facility operation. So in short, it's about translating biology into safe, reliable, and large-scale production for biopharmaceutical products. So ultimately, you could look at bioprocess engineering as encompassing all of the various different roles and tasks that must come together in a modern biopharmaceutical production facility. So let's look at some of these tasks one by one. First of these really is upstream processing, and this is where production begins, using biological systems such as bacteria, yeast, or mammalian cells. This topic area typically covers design and operation of bioreactors, as well as optimization of growth media, environmental conditions, and cell line stability, for example. The aim of this part of the process is to produce large quantities of a target product, for example, an antibody or vaccine component or some therapeutic protein, for example. The second main subject area is downstream processing. So once we have the initial starting product, it needs to be separated, purified, and concentrated from complex mixture of cells, nutrients, and waste materials. So in downstream processing, we then typically see various separation techniques such as chromatography, ultrafiltration, centrifugation, and these are used to isolate and purify the product. And the goal in these steps is to achieve high levels of purity. In addition to USP and DSP activities, there are several other topics covered by bioprocess engineering, which really encompass the entire process. These mostly fall into the following subject categories: bioprocess monitoring and control, where modern facilities use sophisticated process analytical technologies to monitor conditions in real time. This allows engineers to design and control strategies in order to keep processes consistent. And some of you may be familiar already with QBD, or quality by design. And this is where this concept comes into play. Ensuring quality is built in, the built-in feature of every step in the process. Facility design and operation focuses mainly on tightly controlled environments where the upstream process and downstream processes, these activities are carried out. So engineers have to design clean rooms, containment systems, and large-scale production lines to ensure products are safe, contamination-free, and with other considerations, including things like efficiency, safety, sustainability, and regulatory compliance. And lastly, we have various regulatory and quality aspects associated with biopharmaceutical manufacture. Because biopharmaceuticals are going to be administered to human patients, they're subject to rigorous international regulations. And so bioprocess engineers have to work within certain frameworks, such as GMP or, for example, good manufacturing practice, and also various international standards and guidelines issued by regulatory bodies like EMA, FDA, ICH, depending on where the finished product is being sent. And understanding this regulatory landscape is essential for bringing products from concept to market. Before I go into detail on the program itself, let's briefly look at this topic in an industrial context. Ireland is recognized as one of the world's leading hubs for pharmaceuticals and biotechnology and biopharma. And this country is the largest net exporter of pharmaceuticals globally, with exports worth over €1 billion every year. All of the world's top 10 pharmaceutical companies have operations here, with many of them subsequently investing heavily in biologics and biopharma manufacturing facilities. And so the sector employs more than 50,000 people in the country, and demand for graduates with bioprocessing expertise is strong and continues to grow. This includes roles in upstream and downstream processing, quality, regulation, and process development. The challenge for bioprocess engineers is to make these complex biological processes scalable, reliable, cost-effective, and safe. And in Ireland, with its strong pharma and biopharma presence, bioprocess engineering expertise has really been a key driver of both economic growth and global health innovation. Against that backdrop, programs like this are vital, and this Master's in Bioprocess Engineering was designed in direct consultation with many industry partners to ensure that graduates leave with the skills that employers need most. So this program is the longest running master's program within the School of Biotechnology, and it was originally designed for students from a range of technical backgrounds. It's ideal for biotechnology graduates who already have a strong grounding in biology and want to move into engineering and large-scale production side of biopharma. And it's also suitable for graduates from related disciplines such as chemical engineering, chemistry, pharmaceutical sciences, or biomedical engineering, or even other engineering disciplines, for example, mechanical or electrical engineering. People really who want to develop some expertise in biotechnology and make the transition into biopharma. We also welcome professionals who are already working in the industry and who may want to upskill, retrain, or just broaden their career options. And from year to year, the class cohort is made up of anywhere between 20 and 50% of industry-based students. And at DCU, we really feel that this diversity of student backgrounds across many of our programs, not just this one, it's great, and it really makes for a really rich learning environment. The program itself consists of 12 core taught modules, plus an additional literature review module, which may also be taken as a design project. And the whole program is delivered at the Glasnevin campus at DCU, with support from staff at the School of Pharmacy at Trinity College, and also the National Institute for Bioprocessing Research and Training, or NIBRT for short. For part-time students, modules can be taken at a rate of between 1 to 3 modules typically per semester, which allows for flexible completion within a 4-year period, while full-time students are required to take all modules within one academic year. Assessment of modules is by 100% continuous assessment, so there is no end of term or semester exams. And this type of assessment depends, the precise type, I suppose, of assessment depends on the module, but it's usually a mix of written assignment and or MCQ or in-class test. The teaching is interactive and varied and combines lectures, workshops, tutorials, and a practical laboratory session at the NIBRT facility. Most lectures are in class, so attendance, physical attendance is highly recommended. However, we do have some modules that are delivered in a blended format or entirely online. In terms of entry criteria, applicants are normally expected to hold an honours degree with a minimum of a second-class Grade 2 honours or an international equivalent, and the degree should be in a relevant discipline such as science or engineering. Industry-based applicants who have significant relevant experience but maybe who don't meet the academic entry criteria may also be considered based on their industry experience. Mature applicants or deferred entries or transfers from other programs here at DCU are also considered in line with our university regulations. And so for the latest details, we always encourage applicants to check the DCU admission website. For international students hoping to join the program, students will also be required to provide proof of English language competency. Up-to-date information on fees and entry criteria can also be found on the DC website on the course homepage shown. And this also includes instructions on how you can apply to the program. Before we finish up, let's just take a quick look at career prospects of our students. So in Ireland, the biopharma industry is still thriving, with major employers including Pfizer, Janssen, Amgen, Regeneron, Eli Lilly, BMS, that's just to name a few of them. Internationally, our graduates are equally well equipped to work in hubs across Europe, North America, and emerging markets in Asia. And although this MSc is typically industry focused, some of our graduates have also transitioned into PhD research. So, things like specializing in cutting edge areas such as advanced therapies, cell and gene therapy, or synthetic biology. We've found that our graduates are highly sought after, and there's always seems to be a good uptake of graduates from industry. The program helps to develop, I suppose, a deep understanding of bioprocessing design and operation, alongside analytical and technical skills needed to work in biopharmaceutical manufacturing. And our graduates continue to be in high demand, both here in Ireland and internationally. Our students graduate with an appreciation of the structures, roles, and experimental methods associated with these complex products. And they also gain exposure to different technologies for monitoring and controlling bioprocesses, and typically leave with a clear awareness of the regulatory landscape that governs the industry, which we feel gives them an excellent career opportunities. Finally, I'd just like to say thank you for watching this presentation on our program. Whether your goal is to move into large-scale manufacturing or to specialize in regulatory affairs or to advance into research and development, I really believe that this program will provide you with the knowledge, skills, and professional support network to help you achieve those ambitions. So if you have any further questions on the program, please feel free to send me an email. Thanks.